Connect your headphones. Turn your camera off. Mute your microphone. To copy and paste, press Ctrl+C to copy. Press Ctrl+V to paste. On a Macintosh, use the Command key. On a tablet, tap and hold, and select Copy and Paste. Your tutors: Dr. Enrico Bertelli, aka Mr. Bird. Dr. Jack White. Dr. Yui Shikakura, aka Miss Yui. Get ready.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. This is Enrico from Conductive Music, and this is the latest episode of STEAM Corner dedicated to the continuous professional development of teachers. So what does this mean? As of today, we start our 2021 online provision. The first borrow that we will deliver in is Peterborough. So thank you to the Peterborough Music Education Hub and to Arts Council England for funding us through this project. And we have morning sessions, we have afternoon sessions, after school sessions, and also we're about to launch our online learning platform called STEAM Corner. So today I'm going to give you a little overview of all of the projects. By the way, every single piece of software that we use is always free, or at least has a free version, is browser-based, which means it works off a website and or an app, and it's pretty much compatible with any device that has an internet connection. When it comes to children, they can follow from home or from school. So if you're in school, to be honest, the only thing you need to do is put the Zoom on the smart board and job done. Of course, please give a tablet or a laptop to kids. One-to-one is great. In pairs, it's also fine. Of course, make sure that all the disinfection happens. From home instead, we've got a series of Eventbrite events through which the parents can just register so that the Zoom links are kept safe and secure and private, obviously. They are free since these activities are fully funded. And whilst the calendar is on Eventbrite, this week, we're going to start with the years 7 and 8 tomorrow. That's Tuesday at 9. We're going to move on to the years 5 and 6 at 10 o'clock. And this is both on Tuesday and Wednesday. Ideally, we would like students to join us for 2 days. If instead they only have 1 day available, that's absolutely fine, because we can share the progress from lesson 1 to lesson 2 via simple link, so the kids can jump in pretty much at any time. The same happens on Thursday and Friday, where at 9 o'clock we tackle the years 1 and 2, the tiny ones. And then at 10 o'clock, instead, we move to years 3 and 4. You'll see myself in some of the sessions, Miss Yui, Mr. Singh, Dr. White, and Miss Williams, and Miss Sampson. We have quite a lot of different teachers, because obviously we've got different young groups involved, and everybody's got a certain specialism. In the afternoon instead, at 4 o'clock, this is our after-school club, and it's dedicated to 2 things. The musical video games, which is my favorite, it's my own baby, I'm really happy with it, and the music production. And again, all of these things that I mentioned, they happen online for free on browsers, and that's it really. Chrome, ideally, if you can install it, but no problem. If you'd like to ask any questions, we've got both on on Zoom here. Feel free to ask at any time or leave us a comment on YouTube. We'll also upload this video on Facebook afterwards, but yeah, just feel free to contact us at any time. Just in case you're wondering, when it comes to the session with the children, we will not be streaming these live. They are only recorded for safeguarding purposes, and although many parents ask us to share these sessions, we cannot, because this is a legal requirement to keep everybody safe. The alternative, though, to continue working with us or maybe checking steps that you've missed, we've got two. One, you can go to our online 1-hour projects on the Conductive Music websites. There's 60 of them divided by year group. Feel free to pick and mix. They are, you can access them online, you can print the slides, you can work on them, they're completely free, no problem. There's 60 of them. They are all more or less 1 hour long. Many are completely free. Some require some specialist hardware, which is what we use to go into schools. On the other hand, instead, we're about to launch Steam Corner, the online learning platform, which will have 4 full courses dedicated from year 1 all the way to year 8, and include YouTube videos, homework sets, slides for teaching, and lesson plans dedicated to specific year groups. We've tied them to the national curriculum, and since our approach is the STEAM, which mixes the arts and the STEM subjects, we try to find as many cross-disciplinary links as possible, and there's many of them. For today, I'm just gonna go quite quick through a series of resources that we use so that you know what to expect for the following week, or if you're watching this video later on, what we are teaching in the mornings and in the afternoons. And I thought, just to be boring, we'll just go through the year groups, very simple, start from the tiny ones, years 1 and 2, all the way up to 8. So since everything is browser-based, it's really easy for us to share everything. So here's the first one. And let's get a little bit of music too. Okay. So we've got the year 1 and 2. We work on Chrome Music Lab. I'm not sure if you've done this before, but Chrome Music Lab. We join this in, and as you click, there's quite a few different things available. My favorite one, the first to start with, is Kandinsky. It's a tool that allows you to convert drawings into music. And you can go from a very simple, just a stroke like that. Yeah. Change pitch. Make chords, change the sound, and even start adding some of the shapes, because circles, squares, and also I think triangles, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. So it can be a completely easy, random platform to use, or you can start building a bit more musical sense into it. So for example, here's our favorite Boots and Cats. Okay. And here we go. Sorry, I'm just cleaning up. There we go. Here's my kick drum. My hi-hats should be somewhere up there. There we go. My snare drum should be here somewhere. There we go. And finally, another one here. So you know the rhythm, boots and cats and boots and cats? Here it is. And now we can add a little bit of pitch, perhaps. Not bad, not bad. Change the sounds real quick with this button. Oh, pardon. and try it again. And you see how easy it is to create music here. We've got the Songmaker, which is quite nice. It has both melodies and rhythms. So down here you've got your rhythms, which at the moment are set to electronic. So I can just and a very simple rhythm, nothing too demanding here. Sorry, my mouse is playing up a little bit. I hope it will not stop me from this session. Come on, mouse, you can do it. Let's try it. Decent enough. We can start adding some notes here. So you've got left to right your step sequencer, so your tempo, and then bottom to top you've got your diatonic scale. So this will play a C major scale. So you got single notes. You can have your chords. You can change your sounds. Okay, you can even use the microphone to sing into this, or use a MIDI keyboard to lay down the notes. By the way, a MIDI keyboard is a keyboard that you can just plug in via USB and everything is up and running. You can change the tempo, go into the settings to have different scales. Like this is a major scale, as I was mentioning. You can have the pentatonic, which is the 5-note one, the chromatic, and so forth. This obviously works on the touch screen as well, on a smart board. And the beautiful thing is that these colors are not random. Let me just share this with you real quick. This is called the ChromaNote system, and it's internationally known as the boom wax colors, really. So you know those plastic pipes that are used for playing around? Well, the boom wax use the ChromaNote system, which is this. A C is always red, a D is orange, a E, F, G, A, B, and then C again. You see the red comes back on the following octave. And there's also the black keys, so the sharps and the flats, which tend to be slightly different shades of orange and yellow and so forth. And may I remind you, if you have any questions, please do fire away, both on the Zoom chat and on the YouTube channel. My colleague Miss Yui, who is in the background, will respond to you in a second. Obviously, if you're watching this not in real time, please forgive us. It will take us a while to address your comments, but we shall do that. Inside the Chrome Music Lab, there's quite a few more things. So we've got the share piano, which is awesome. It's a piano, and you can share this link with other people so you can play pretty much in real time. That is quite awesome. A lot of toys, but in case you are secondary school teachers and you are teaching some physics or science, these are fabulous tools for the acoustics. So for example, when it comes to the harmonics, yeah, this is a toy, isn't it? I'm just going to press through. But at the same time, it's a very good visual representation of what the air columns or the mode of vibration look like. And by the way, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, if you take a pipe and you spin in the air real fast or slow, these are the type of sounds that come through. And the same exact thing is the monochord experiment here with the strings. So you can just use it as a toy. Or you can explain the nodes, like you see them marked here, the proportions in case you're doing the octaves, the series of harmonics, and something like that. We actually use this for some university courses because they are very immediate and very beautiful. So I hope this makes sense. And if you've got questions, please do give us a shout. In the year 1 and 2 course that we are teaching, we use these quite extensively, and our Steam Corner platform has the lessons included. Part of the year 1 and 2 is also Scratch Junior, which I'm about to launch. There we go. So this is a tiny children version of Scratch, and here you go. It's a desktop version or an app version, and it allows you to code without reading or writing. You just need your colors and some imagination, and that's about it. This is the specialism from my colleague, Miss Yui, and she's created a series of lessons for this. As you can see, there is very, very minimal writing. I've got the character on the left, the background on the right. Well, I don't have any yet. I shall in a minute. Let's give you a quick demonstration. Let's say that I create this earth. It's in, no problem. If I want to modify it, I can. Let's make it a bit more yellow with a bucket. That's it. Job done. It's already in. I can move it around on my screen, but if I wanted to respond to a specific action, I can do so by, for example, using the yellow part, which responds to tapping, to running or hiding, and starting the patch. So it's a quite, well, you know, a beginning sort of thing. But let's see. When I tap, I want the earth to go a little bit to the right, and as soon as it touches, I want this to move. Okay, so arrow right, and if I want to make it a little bit further, there we go. So you see that? And now I can refresh from the beginning. Now it's going, and now it's going. Perfect. Now I can go to the other character, tick, and just say, for example, let's see what we can do with this one. Okay, and so when it's touched by another sprite, we go to, maybe this guy goes up 5. Okay, let's see if I did it right. Oh, sorry. I wanted to go up 5, not down. There we go. Refresh, and here you go. That worked. So it's a quick animation. We can add sounds, we can record sounds, we can add loops, which is what we use for repeating functions, and send messages as well, which are, here you go. So a message is when you want to trigger one action and then others will follow. So it's exactly like following a message, sending a message to somebody, asking them to perform an action. It's exactly the same thing happening in on Scratch. By the way, you see that I'm inside a green meow bit. This is because we split into 3 different areas on each. Just show you, this is the yellow one, so it's a bit more difficult, and this is the red one, which is really complicated. So we always check with the kids, because obviously we have mixed year groups and mixed skills on the sessions. So what we try to do is make sure that everybody can follow the green, and when they are a bit more confident, they can jump into the yellow tasks. And if they are perhaps older siblings, helping the younger ones that are getting a little bit itchy to get going with the same devices, we show them the red stuff so they can also jump in. Okay, so I think for year 1 and 2, that's a good introduction. And when it comes to year 3 and 4, our colleague, Dr. Jack White, has created a brand new course. So I want to show you, Steam Corner, our platform. On our platform, which is going to be launched tomorrow, but it's available today if you want, steamcorner.conductivemusic.uk, we've got some brand new courses. These are available completely for free to all teachers for at least 1 month through our membership. And here we go. I'm just going to show you how a course on year 3 and 4 looks like. So here's the introduction. Okay, as you go through them, sorry, I haven't uploaded the video here as well, my fault. It will be before tomorrow. And as you get in, you will access our distraction-free learning platform. So the first 2 lessons are always free, even without the membership. And what we did is, so this is the video that you just seen. If you click and go on to the first lesson, which is called Flower Duets, you get a complete video of Jack explaining through and through his patch and his lesson. And then if you go to materials, you will find access, you will receive access to the Scratch patch. You can download it, and this is if you prefer using the online version of Scratch or the offline version of Scratch. By the way, just so we're clear, the one that I showed you a minute ago was Scratch Junior, which is a completely different software. They are not compatible with each other. They are completely different things. They obviously are made within the same organizing principles, but it's two different companies. It's a completely different thing. So if you choose one, you cannot jump onto the other. Oh, I mean, at the start, you need to choose which one to use. We've created a series of slides for you to teach. So every single thing is explained here as well. And we've created a homework set, which you can download and print. And perhaps if you're preparing paper packs to the students at home, this is a perfect solution. It's just a page, it's an A4, you print it out and send it. Very straightforward. Click on the image, you get the downloadable version. At the bottom, every teacher's dream is the already pre-filled lesson plan. And as you can see, we've got quite a few different topics involved. This one in particular mixes science, music, and computing because we are talking about pollination. As you can probably deduct from here, there's a bee there, and we're talking about music because you'll see that the bee moving through the flowers will follow the flower duet, which is a famous composition that I'm sure all of your kids know from the advertisements. But this is how these patches work. And by the way, Scratch patches can be modified. So if you've got more advanced students that would like to perhaps change the design, change the colors, or perhaps expand on them, you're free to do so. There's absolutely no problem. On the slides, on the very first slide actually, you've got the links as well. So you can see here, you got the short links. First one is short links to the video, the second to the Scratch patch. Why is that? Well, even if we are asking schools for a small contribution for the membership, the kids will like them to be able to follow from home at all times. So if you provide this link to the kids, it's very easy for them to jump in and check the lessons, especially if you're doing asynchronous learning, so they can follow us. For any questions, obviously, give us a shout, and we hope you will enjoy this. So for years 3 and 4, this is what we do when it comes to online stuff. Please keep in mind that the in-person is completely different. And if you would like to book us for a session in person or online as well, specifically for your school, including CPD, so continuous professional development for teacher sessions, you can do so. Just send us an email at info@conductivemusic.uk. Let me jump to my favorite spot. It's called MakeCode.com. And this is about the musical video games. This is a project that we started last summer. It went really well on the summer school, so we decided to create something new. MakeCode is a suite of coding, block coding apps, very similar to Scratch, but dedicated, this particular one, to video games. We have an e-wearable one. We have the microbit. If you're secondary school teachers, you probably have a set of microbits already in the cupboard somewhere. And obviously, MakeCode is doing a little bit of, finished. We've got quite a lot of tutorials from Microsoft Arcade, and we have created an entire course. So we thought of video games, and once again, this is for years 5 and 6, because video games are the epitome of STEAM, of the STEAM approach. If you think about it, to make a video game, you need people from all different backgrounds. Designers, level designers, visual artists, sound artists, composers, coders, of course. Then you need the marketing people and the box design. You need the distributors. It's a very huge field with all-round approach. So we thought, why not trying this? And if you think that it's difficult, please keep in mind that none of us here at Conductive Music knew anything about video game design. We were players, yes, some of us more than others, but we had never coded a game before. Since March last year, when the lockdown started, we all took slightly different courses just to, update ourselves. And then this became one of our major fixations, let's say. It was really beautiful. And I'll show you how easy it is. Easy game. Obviously, the beautiful part of this is that you can do a 5 minutes project or a 5 weeks project. I'm gonna show you the 30-second project. I'm gonna create a simple map, a character that moves, and when the character goes on top of a tile, a melody will be triggered. So let me show you real quick how it works. We've got an emulator that is here on the left-hand side that you can see all the time. We've got the menu of codes. And sorry, my mouse is playing up, so I need to jump on these things sometimes. We have the menu of codes here and the code itself. It's actually written in JavaScript, but the kids never need to see this stuff unless you are teaching a course about it. It's saved free on the cloud anonymously. This is the Microsoft Cloud. So all you have to do, since many teachers asked, if you want to share your project, you can publish it, get the link like this. And if you check on our website, all we did is embed this code. So you don't even need to know what you're doing really. You just click on embed, editor, copy this scary looking thing. It's just an iframe, nothing particular. You copy it, you paste it into your HTML, and the stuff shows up. I'll give you a quick taster on our Conductive Music website. Alongside the tutorials that I was mentioning earlier, you see this, the 1 hour projects, the 60 1-hour projects. We also have the codes to the musical video game. Now, these are the final codes. If you want the course, please jump on Steam Corner. And Missy, can you leave the link onto the chat, please, which is steamcorner.conductivemusic.uk. Let's click on one, which is one of my favorite, the Mana-chan, which is a little corgi jumping on this that looks like a piano. I apologize for my designing skills, which are quite poor. And this is the game. We have embedded the code. It will be up and running in a second. You can play it straight from the browser. Depends on when my internet connection decides that it's a good time to load it. There we go. And you can also go into the JavaScript if you're doing a bit more advanced things, but very straightforward. You can play it straight from here. You can see I've got my little doggy jumping through. And that's it. Okay, I hope this made sense. So let me show you how easy it is to create a simpler version of this. So first of all, I want to create a background. No, sorry, not a color. I want to create a tile map background. There we go. A tile map is, think of the tiles in your bathroom. It's exactly the same thing. We're setting them up. I'm gonna modify the size, which is exactly the size of the screen. I'm gonna create our corners. And you see how easy it is. You can drop stuff in. You can draw. These are the tiles, by the way. The things I'm putting through, they are exactly the tiles. And you can design your own. So in all of our video game experiences, which are about 3 hours of worth of teaching for each game, you can obviously do them in an hour and a half, or you can do that in 6 hours, depending if you like to customize all of these. Everything, by the way, is explained in our lesson plans. In case you're thinking, oh my goodness, they look a bit difficult or not, I just want to reassure you, because the winner of our gaming competition was actually a year 2 who wiped out the year 9 students. So it is absolutely possible. We've already taught about, I'm going to say about 600 students this project, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I have taught this at least 20 times and I'm nowhere near bored with it. It's amazing. So let me lay down a character for you. So obviously it's a sprite, same name as in Scratch. I can select one, and today let's be a duck. Click on done. Now the duck needs to move. And just like that, press on play. And I'm using my keyboard, computer keyboard, and the duck is moving. Job done. It's it's not that complicated, is it? Now I want to create a piano note, and that will be a different sprite. So this is going to be called, for example, note C. And for the simplicity, I'm just gonna design it as a rectangle. So here on the bottom left, you've got your coordinates. So it's gonna be an 8 by 16. And I'm gonna paint it in red. If you remember from a Google Chrome Music Lab before, the red is the C, the note C. And I'm going to place it somewhere on the top right. Obviously, when it comes to the lesson with the children, I am not keeping this speed, nor are my colleagues. Obviously, it's much slower with many more explanations and also a lot of backing track music, which is pretty cool. There we go. So you see the note C is here at the top. And if I go on top of it, nothing is happening at the moment. Not to worry. What I want to do is create an overlap, or in other words, code an event when the duck goes on top of something else. So if I call the piano a food, the piano key as a food, and set food here, you see, so it says, it's quite self-explanatory. On sprite of kind player overlaps with food, something will happen. And by the way, when the kids get to do these coding, we are able to share this in the chat like I'm doing right now. So publish project, copy, and then all you do is you paste it in the chat, and job done. They can click on it and jump straight into your code. So this is our safe net in case somebody is struggling, missed a step, the computer rebooted, you name it. There's hundreds of occurrences. It is color coded. So for example, let's say that you've lost this on star. Well, this is green. The green one is here, is loops. And there you go, perfect. Let's say that you're not sure, because of course my sprite is half red and half blue. Where am I going to check it? Well, I can just type in a sprite here. And there you go, they all show up. And obviously, after a while, you become very familiar with it and it's not a problem anymore. Obviously, you can also ask in the chat. For our session, we always have at least 2 teachers, like on this specific one, where one is leading the session and the other one is responding to the chat. So back to our code. When the sprite goes on top of food, we would like some music to happen. So I'm going to grab this melody. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. We explain all of these numbers, the meaning of BPM, beats per minute. We talk a bit more in depth about the 8-step sequencer, which is very similar to the one that you saw on Chrome Music Lab, if you remember. Now we can compose. So we've got the 8 steps here, and we've got the 8 notes here. So let's try. Test it. Okay, click on done. Unfortunately here the colors are not the chroma note system, and unfortunately, you know, it's because those who develop this game are not musicians, they are technicians, so they're engineers, so they might not be aware of this system, unfortunately. And yeah, these are the downsides sometimes, but we can make it so. So for example, if I go on top of that one, I will trigger, and again, and again. And if I stay on top of it, it will loop. Now you can transform this into a 2-player game, into a shooting game. Let me show you how easy it is to shoot the note, because of course this is a melody, but I would like to just get a 1 hit. So set projectile from my sprite. Sorry, I'm gonna be quite lazy and use something pre-made, but of course you can encourage your students to draw from scratch all of these things. And when the button A is pressed, one of these projectiles is going to shoot out. And as you can see, there's so many cross-disciplinary links here. So for example, immediately we got Vx and Vy. Now, I do understand that this is a bit more advanced than a primary school physics, but as long as you say that x is the horizontal velocity or speed, it's not correct, but you can call it speed for the sake of simplicity, and Vy is the vertical one, I want to shoot towards the left to hit that red bar, so I'm going to put a negative, maybe a bit more, a negative 100, and I don't want it to go up and down, I want it to go straight, and that's it. When I go into my game and press the button A, those rocks are being shot. So now we want to create a similar block to this, so we can right click, duplicate, let's make a little bit of a space, and change this to projectile. Sorry, change the first one to projectile and the second to food, because it's when the stone hits the piano key. Let's just get a C. So I'm going to get a single note from here. I'm actually going to use a bass. There we go. And one thing which is about gaming is we need to destroy the sprite that we have just used. So this projectile needs to be destroyed, maybe with a little cute animation here, when it hits the piano keys. So let's see what happens. So if I go on top of it, I will still be able to trigger the melody. But if I shoot it, you see I can also make a rhythm. And now imagine having multiple notes, having multiple projectiles, having multiple people, because you can actually code different sprites on the same game, different levels, everything. So this is quite cool. And if you're interested in this, this is part both of the year 7 and 8 with a bit more advanced, and the year 5 and 6 projects, which are happening tomorrow morning. Once again, 7, 8 at 9 o'clock, and year 5 and 6 at 10 o'clock. But we have one more opportunity, which happens on a Tuesday and a Friday. So actually every Tuesday and Friday at 4 p.m. on the After School Club. Let me continue because we've got one more. I won't keep you much longer, I promise. But if this is the year 5 and 6, we also have some extra stuff through BandLab. I don't know if you have used this before. This is a free browser-based digital audio workstation, which means music software, really. You don't have to install anything, and actually this is so easy. You see, I already went in, but let me log out to show you the speakable musicians that are featured here. Oh, okay, no, maybe this is a good one. You can just click on login, and you can use any school email address. By the way, this is completely free. You can use Google, Facebook, Apple logins. I'm not entirely sure how this phone works, but it's probably like through the telephone number plus password. We've created one. We can just click on Google to use the Google account. And I mean, the organizing principle of BandLab is that it's completely free, as opposed to Soundtrap, which has got both the free version and the online version. So we have created a Soundtrap entire course. Our colleague Jack, who is a professional composer, guides you through the year 7 and 8 music international curriculum, and shows very innovative way of making compositions, from creating chord progressions from scratch, rearranging existing MIDI files, downloading, using, and properly quoting the copyrights of samples of work made by other people, and setting words to music, using Foley, using found objects to create soundtracks. It's quite amazing. It's quite an eclectic course. I have a lot of fun as well going through it. So as you click on create, this is the interface, and you're immediately prompted with the different type of instruments that you can use. So these are digital instruments. By the way, you can use them with the mouse, computer keyboard, or any MIDI keyboard that you've got connected to your computer. And it's the same happening to the kids. By the way, this one also has an app version. So when our colleague Chani, who is a professional producer, this is in the afternoons of Mondays and Wednesdays. Everything, by the way, is on our Eventbrite. So if you want to enroll, please do so throughout January and February until February half term. So we're starting today, actually, if you're seeing this in real time. And it's a quite awesome device, but the app is slightly different. So when we teach both with the computer version and the app version. So all the kids can join in and keep the pace. So let me show you a very simple thing. I'm gonna put down a drum machine. There are two patterns already laid down. Let me show you. Okay, so this is for 8 bars. Bar 2, and a 3, and a 4. Bar 2. Can you hear that the rhythm changed a little bit, yeah? Now, let me show you how easy it is to create one. I'm gonna go into A, so please take a look at the bottom part of the screen. I'm gonna get rid of these dots. There is no clear button, which is a bit annoying to me. I would like to just see, let's just clean it up and that's it. So let's just do a very simple boots and cats. Boots, cats, boots and cats with a... Okay, I can test it here. Embellish it a little bit. Okay, that's it. That's easy enough. So all you have to do is click Add A and it's on your timeline. You put it here, you loop it. I'm just gonna, there we go. I'm gonna loop it for 4 bars. There we go, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me create a second one. Actually, just once, just 3 times. I'm gonna create a second one. I'm going to B. Again, unfortunately, I need to clean up this. I'm gonna create a little fill here. Don't know if you noticed, but the instruments here are slightly different than the instruments here. That's because by using the drop-down menu, you can change it. And you can compose during, whilst the machine is playing through. Okay, let's say that I put this one in. I'm happy. It's here. There we go. Turn on the loop. So when it's red, it's going to repeat. And a 3. And a 4. And it's back to the beginning. Perfect. Now I want to add an extra instrument. So I'm going to go to Add Track, bring in an instrument here, and then perhaps just use the piano just for boringness, I guess. I can use my mouse, but I can use my piano keys. Sorry, my computer keys. They're usually much more responsive, but now because I've got my streaming, my Zoom, and this, it's a bit of a complainer this morning, but they are quite responsive if you don't have all of these things open at once. So you can record it and that's it. I recorded it. It's a despicable rhythm. So what I can do is I can go in and actually adjust the notes on the timeline without too much effort. As you can see, these are the different notes in case you're not familiar with the DAW. So you see this one is not really aligned with the gray line. So I just want to push it. Oh, sorry. Ah, no, I deleted it. Sorry. There we go. I can just move it around a little bit and fix my track. You can use other instruments such as recording your voice and adding some effects. Go in and add a guitar and bass. When it comes to guitar and bass, this doesn't mean a digital one. It means if you have a mixer connected or a sound interface connected to the machine that you're using, you can record straight from a real guitar. If instead you want a guitar, like a digital guitar sound, all you have to do is click to instruments, and instead of the piano, you go to guitars. You choose your favorite one. There's quite a few, and they're quite beautiful. You can also preview the sounds. Okay, and then you can play them. And that's very straightforward. You can then export these things with a file download. You can, the difference between Mixdown and Tracks is Tracks downloads every single track as a different file, or the Mixdown downloads the master. A great feature about BandLab is the real-time composition. So if you click on Start Session, you will be able to share the link online. So if you click on the little silhouette here, okay, you will find a link, or you can invite usernames, so you can ask your students to collaborate between each other, or to send the composition to you and then start creating in real time, which, you know, it's quite beautiful. If you've got external samples, you can drag and drop. If you can see, is a drop a loop or audio MIDI file here, so you can use anything that you've got and just chuck it in. And I can show you how easy it is. Just a second, let me grab a file from our presets. And we're almost there. Okay, so I've got, there we go. I'm not sure what I dragged in. This is one of the video ones. Turn off the loop, play from here, press the spacebar, and that's it, job done. You can start pitch shifting it. You can change its speed. Let's say that I want to slow it down considerably. Let's see what happens. And obviously you can start doing all sorts of sound manipulations in here. So I hope that this was a good and useful introduction to these series of projects. So once again, what we're running from this week all the way until when the schools will reopen, after which we will be back into schools, are the morning sessions, which are dedicated borough by borough each week. So if you are watching us in real time, this week is completely dedicated to Peterborough. Next week we move up to Sunderland. And for the afternoons instead, we've got a 1 month long program until half term. So here's the schedule, which you can find on Eventbrite. Mondays is always dedicated to a teacher session like this one. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we work on year 7 and 8 at 9 o'clock and 5 and 6 at 10 o'clock. This is for this week. It's tomorrow, yeah? Thursday and Friday, 9 o'clock for year 1 and 2, 10 o'clock for year 3 and 4. In the afternoon instead, Mondays and Wednesdays, music production. Tuesdays and Fridays, musical video games. Always at 4 o'clock. You'll see also all sorts of, I mean, not all sorts of, always different teachers from Conductive Music. If you would like to join us on our Steam Corner, it's steamcorner.conductivemusic.uk. The platform will be live as of now. We have just finished it and it's about to go live everywhere. So feel free to jump in. You've got a 1 month free subscription. And if you are part of our partnership areas, you may also have a 6 month subscription, which depends on the agreements with the hubs. So thank you very much indeed for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this session. All the best from Enrico. All the best from Enrico at Conductive Music. Stay curious, and I hope to see you online soon. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the Zoom or in the comment on YouTube. And have a wonderful day. Stay safe and stay curious. All the best. Bye-bye.